opening, grand closing.
Welcome, my friends, my family, my fellow gamers. This is your only friend these YouTube streets, Puerto77. There's certain things I seen outrage on, and I don't think I seen a higher level of fake outrage than I seen over the PlayStation 5 stand being removed from the console. Let's all be honest about something. In gaming, there are certain topics that provide, you can say, maximum amount of engagement. I think at the top is like the whole DEI anti-woke topics. That's like going through the roof, right? They try to make anything woke and DI, and that instantly is an instant success. It doesn't even have to be factual, just a few words, a few mention, boom, that's it, it's taken off. And another is fake positivity over Xbox. That will get you, like, Xbox could be on fire and you're gonna sit in the room and say everything's fine. You're gonna get traction over that because, you know, there's a huge crowd of Xbox gamers that pretty much have nothing left other than watching content over lies to make their brand look good. And then the other, which I think is even more than the Xbox, but maybe not as much as, you know, the whole woke DI engagement, is PlayStation bashing, right? Any topic that you can bash, you can use to bash PlayStation, you're gonna get some good engagement, right? Even if it's illogical. Those are just how it is, right? And it's clearly happening with this stand. I mean, this thing right here, right? This stand right here is literally a topic that just doesn't even make sense. Let's go back to something, right? We got this right here. This was the original stand that came with the PlayStation 5. Now, the truth be told, if you own a PlayStation 5, you know the only reason this stand exists is because of if you want to put your PlayStation 5 horizontally. Vertically, not necessary. I haven't used it. Oh my God, I can't remember the last time I used it. It's disassembled now because I stand my PlayStation 5 vertically. And when I clean it, you know, remove the plates, clean it, I put it back on, I put the stand back on. When I cleaned it the second time and I assembled it back, and I'm thinking, do I really need to put this stand back on? I just stood my PlayStation without the stand, and there you go. It's fine. Haven't done it since. But if you remember when the console launched and this stand was included, excuse me, there was outrage. Because you had to use a screwdriver and one screw to assemble it. It didn't come pre-assembled. People made videos about the ergonomics and the intuitive design of how a console should be. A console should just be standalone. Don't need this, don't need that, right? And I know you guys seen those videos. I know you seen the outrage. That became, for whatever reason, just a huge issue. I want you to keep that in mind. It was an issue that you needed a stand to simply stand or whatever your console. Okay. You fast forward to the PlayStation 5 Slim and now the Pro. The consoles out the box are designed to not need a stand. So now you don't need a screwdriver. You can stand the console horizontally, no issues. Vertically. And if you want to stand it horizontally, there's a little clip. No tools required. Clip, boom, done. Prevents wobbling. If I haven't explained that, the reason why this stand was necessary was because the console will wobble if you didn't play it. If you didn't apply it horizontally, mean laying it on the side. The new console, you don't have to worry about that. So, PlayStation 5 was redesigned to not need a stand. If you look how the stand looks now, it has a nice chrome finish and all that. It's actually now designed just to be an aesthetic looking component. It's aesthetic looking. That's why if you look at the two differences, right? You got that flat matte black finish. It's not shaped well. It's literally designed as a functional piece. And now you got this, a chrome finish. So it's clear it's an accessory, not required. But buying a PlayStation now, right out the box, you're good. And yet people still complain, especially with the release of the price announcement of the PS5 Pro. Oh, it should have came with the stand. Why shouldn't it came? Like, what you're gonna do with it? What functional use does this accessory have when the PlayStation 5 Pro is fine? You stand it up, stand it up. Laying on your thing, it already comes with a quick clip. No tools required. That's why you guys were crying about, right? I asked one question because having the discussion, debate about this, they always lead to ad hominem attacks. It always leads to, oh, you're just cooking for the company. Oh, you just take it up the butt. All these weird stuff. So then I'm like, all right, what exactly am I being denied if I buy a PlayStation 5 Pro and I don't have this stand? What has Sony screwed me out of? What capability? And that's why I don't want to hear opinion that it should just because of the high price. I'm not trying to hear that. I'm trying to hear capability. Let me know what I can no longer do. What is no longer possible. One answer, which was stupid, was, well, you tip it over, it's going to break, and you're going to have to, it's the potential issue of not, if you stand it up vertically, not being well balanced, and now you have broken console. I'm like, okay, if that's the case, then why is it not happening now? How come this hasn't been an issue over the last year? And through the conversation, they're looking at me confused, like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, do realize the PlayStation 5 Slim doesn't have this stand either. So if your scenario is true, how come we're not hearing from current PS5 Slim owners that their consoles are tipping over and it's breaking and all this stuff? Some don't realize the Slim don't come with this thing either, and everything's fine. Because right out the box, PlayStation 5 Slim owners are either standing it up, no issue, or laying it horizontal with the clip, no issue. And it's a done deal. No more screwdrivers, no more screws, no more tools to use. The second point that was made was this sets a bad precedence. Something that was standard in the box is now no longer standard. I'm thinking, one, selling a standard accessory is not a new concept, because we got, here you go, the PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, and even last gen with the PlayStation 4. These were all stands and accessories that was sold separately. Never came in with the box. The PlayStation 5 launched with the stand. And I would say again, as I said before, this use was primarily for the horizontal feature. Because if you didn't use it, if you lay it flat without it, you could tap it, it goes back and forth, it's bouncy. So it needed it. The new PS5s and the PS5 Pro, the PS5 Slim and Pro, don't need it. That little issue is resolved. And you could both stand. So this is a pointless accessory, right? And even if this accessory was free, it's not really attractive. So you really want to use it anyway. That's why I don't even use it. I prefer to have my PlayStation without it. Also, one, I don't have to deal with it. And two, the PlayStation, the way it looks even better without it. Now, if you want to talk about going back to this, then okay, I can understand that. You got a nice chrome finish, has a nice look, but that's more for the aesthetic appeal, having this little setup, right? If that's what you want, if you like the look on the case, you have a nice display, man cave and all that stuff, okay, that's what you're paying for the aesthetic appeal. But the functional use, you're good. Pull it out the box, stand it up, play your games. Put it on the side, put that little clip, play your games. End the story. Move on. So why did this become such a big deal? One is the engagement, because a lot of people are just gonna crowd around it. And if you make a video or you make a tweet, on Twitter, everybody you're gonna get the likes. You're gonna get the engagement, right? It's grifting to the max. And who's primarily doing this? Well, I would say number one. I ain't gonna say no more. I'm not even gonna rank them. It's just people who are there. One group is PlayStation fans that are more salty that they're not gonna buy the Pro because it's $700. Okay, they don't buy $700 products. They want their consoles to be $400 or $500, and they're upset that they're gonna be missing out on the best version of a PlayStation 5 simply because they're not willing to pay $700. You even hear their response of, well, for that, I'll just buy a PC, which tells me you don't have a gaming PC because, again, you don't want to spend the money on your gaming product. The thing is, you're just going to have to stay on your PlayStation 5, which is fine. PlayStation 5 is a great console. There ain't nothing wrong with that console. It's great. Fantastic. It's a fantastic console. Best console of the gen. Period. Sony did a phenomenal job with that console. For $400, all digital. Or if you spend the extra money, you get the one with the disc. You're going to enjoy gaming on that sucker. And just stay on it. Nothing wrong with that. Okay? But now that Sony provides the opportunity to get an even better PlayStation 5, some of us are jumping on that. Not every PlayStation gamer is going to get it. Some can't afford it, or some doesn't see the reason to spend the $700. That's perfectly fine. But I doubt if Sony included the stand, then you'll say, oh, okay, now I'll buy it. Now I'll pay $700. No, you're not going to pay the $700 anyway. Even if they did include the disc drive, you're not going to do it anyway. Don't even lie to yourself. If you're simply saying, well, I'm not buying it because at least it should have a disc drive and a stand, nah, you're not buying it anyway. You cannot tell me the disc drive, which is $80, and the stand that's not necessary is really the straw that the feather that breaks the camel's back. Nah, you can move on with that nonsense. Just say what it is. You don't buy $700, $600 product, and that's perfectly fine, right? This would be an issue if Sony would have discontinued the slim lines, where a 400 now it's what, slim's 450 and the disc is 500. If you didn't have options to buy those, all right, got it. Now you're forced for this $700, and that's not right. Got it. But those options are theirs. And another thing, you guys already have. Some of you, the biggest complainers, already have a PS5. So what are you complaining about? You already got a PS5 console. It's just simply saying, hey, that's way too expensive. I'm not buying a $700. I'm sticking with a PS5. And then there you go. Another group is Xbox gamers. And they're so obvious. They're just upset that, number one, they know as Microsoft keeps putting their games on the PlayStation 5 Pro, it's going to be running to levels where the only platform that's out there to have the better version of those games is the PC. And we're not talking these mid-range average PCs most people got. No, we're talking at least a 4070 or higher. 4070. Anything lower than a 4070, you're not doing it. Come on. Pro smoking, yeah. And that's upsetting Xbox gamers. Because their Xbox Series X is, bad enough the Series X couldn't dominate the PS5. PS5 outperformed Series X in many games. So it was almost like a tit for tat. A tit for tat battle. It was just going back and forth, back and forth. That was what's happening. Going back and forth and back and forth. No definitive way to absolutely say, man, all my games are going to run better at Series X. It didn't. Lots of games are running better on PlayStation 5. And then, while not a head-to-head, how PlayStation handled their first party versus how Xbox handled first party is not even a question. PlayStation's first party, they do right by their games running on the console. They provide the performance options. They even provide enhanced performance options with high frame rate mode and VRR to give you those extra modes. Xbox not even doing that. At this point, you have to be worried on how many more 30 FPS only games Microsoft's going to keep launching. Because now rumor has it that Avowed launching might be just 30 FPS, no performance mode. Another one, when you just came off a Hellblade. It's just ridiculous now, right? So the Xbox fanboys and community are salty as hell. that they ain't getting a mid-gen refresh. They're stuck with their console, and even they can't even be happy with the console they're stuck with because it hasn't lived up to the name. All that nonsense that was spread in 2020, 40% delta, every game 90% is gonna look better. 4K 60 with ray tracing is the default. Optimized 120, none of that came true. So they're not even happy with that console. Right now, the only happiness they try to use to cope is just simply Game Pass. And you don't even need an Xbox for that. So it's really bad for them. And then finally is the PC gamers, which is the weirdest of the weird. Out of any group I thought that's weird is them. They're the weirdest. And I'm going to tell you why. They made the decision to not play on console, right? So they just completely removed themselves out of the console market. Those that actually care about having a good PC, they paid at least $1,500, right? I did a tweet, asking PC gamers, don't give me this bullshit, used market PC. I want to know what the PC you own. Tell me the PC you own. Don't give me this imaginary part picker. Let me know what actually you built for yourself. And most of them was 1,800 up. I honestly can't remember tweets of people saying, oh, this is my build, it was 700, 800. A lot of them was like, oh, this cost 2,200. This one cost me 1,700. This one's cost me 1,900. It was above 1,500 across the board. And they're loving it. They're enjoying it. Right? So you jump to PC. You spend your $2,000 average to get this really nice, good build. You left the console market. You're not interested in console advancements. You're not interested, unless you bought a console also, whatever. But for the most part, why are you worrying about console advancements? If anything, you should want the Pro to exist. You want console games to advance, because the more console games advance, the better it is for PC to take advantage of it. That's something you have to consider. You don't want the console market to stagnate, because that's the bottom line, right? Want that. But they go in crying. They go in with this weird stuff. I personally don't get it. You guys chose to play on PC, so just play on PC. The funny part is some of those guys, they try to give console gamers advice, but their advice is not in the interest of the person they're talking to. It's projecting what they like. In PC gaming versus their own console. And they do it to me all the time. Oh, Puerto, why are you getting a PS5 Pro with PC with the same price? I'm like, oh, here we go. They want me to get these aftermarket Facebook Live piece of shit junk stuff, used junk stuff. Like, stop it. PC is gonna be more than that. But even then, even still, free online mods, the largest backlog library spanning decades. Oh, it makes PC, obviously, whatever. While those points are true to them. Number one, I'm not playing a PC game from 20 years ago. I don't go that far back to playing games. Okay? I really don't. Very rarely will I ever say, man, I want to play a game from 1989. I don't really care. Especially if I built a nice comparable platform. Why the hell do I want to play an old ass game? Like, I don't really care for that. That's number one. Number two, I don't care about mods. I'm not saying they're not great. I'm not going to use it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not interested. I'm not interested in modding and doing all this stuff. I don't care. I have no interest in putting that effort to do something. That's number two. And then finally, and this is the biggest point for me, it's literally games related. It's games, because at the end of the day, that's the crux of these platforms. What games are you going to play? I don't care who you are, right? If somehow games is not the number one reason for the platform, then you bugging. I don't know what's going on with you. So my thing is games. Period. A lot of games I beat this gen, right? Or many. I ain't gonna say use a lot. I say many of the games. Games I played and beat this gen didn't come to PC till years later, or still are not even on PC. So if I transition to PC, now you're talking about games that I will not have access to till long after they've been released. That doesn't make sense to me. So I'm gonna spend $2,000 on a PC to make that my platform, and I'm just gonna sit there and look at games that are already out on the market. For example, PC just got God of War Ragnarok about a week ago, right? Or let's like September 19th or something. I platinumed that game back in January of 2023. You're telling me if I was let's say if I would have made the decision to go PC in 2022, I would have just been starting playing God of War Ragnarok. They don't even have Spider-Man 2 yet. When they're gonna get Final Fantasy Rebirth? When they're gonna get Rise of Ronin? I beat Rise of Ronin. When they're gonna get Stellar Blade? I beat Stellar Blade. It doesn't make sense to me. So I'm gonna pay more money for a gaming platform, and I'm gonna sit there and watch games that are out there that can be played. I'm just gonna sit there like this. Oh, don't worry, fanboy. When that game comes to my platform, I'm gonna make fun of you because I got the better version. Like, come on, bro. Like, stop it. That's nonsense. That alone, I'm not gonna pay more money to wait. That's just stupid. And the argument of online, free online. Listen, we went past that. That's already a dead discussion. Because some of you who's using that line today, you're the reason why we're paying online. Yeah. You're the reason. Yeah, now you're saying, oh, it's free online. It's your fault. We're paying online. And you're thinking, what are you talking about? Oh, what am I talking about? What am I talking about? Were you playing on PC during the 360 gen? Oh, we forgot. Oh, you forgot that you were Xbox 360. You were all about that life. Hell, some of you were about the Xbox One life. You guys just became refugees on PC recently. You guys were Xbox 360 and Xbox One gamers. And you were paying for online. But now it's a problem when it's you who created this. Remember, PlayStation started out free. But because of the success of Xbox Live and all the things it was doing, Sony jumped on the subscription train. Even Nintendo does it now. So y'all created this mess. Don't come now talking about free online. You the one that created this environment, so it's a done deal. That, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not trying to hear that nonsense. Right? At the end of the day, PlayStation 5 Pro, it simply has one job. Be better than the PS5. I'm not trying to hear about converting PC gamers. I don't give a damn. Whatever. The job of the PlayStation 5 Pro is, are you a better PlayStation 5? And it clearly, monumentally is. For all those hating on the PS5 Pro and you're on the PS5, it's your right to hate, complain. If you have this weird attitude over the stand, it's whatever. But there is one factual statement. PlayStation gamers playing on the PlayStation 5 Pro are absolutely having a better gaming experience in terms of visual fidelity, technical performance over the PlayStation gamers that are playing on the PlayStation 5 or 5 Slim. All stop. Now, whether that matters to you or not, or worth the investment, that is in the subjective viewpoint and is valid no matter what you decide, because that is you. I cannot invalidate you saying PlayStation 5 Pro is not worth it. That is your opinion. That is your viewpoint. And at the end of the day, you are the one buying the product or not buying the product. I cannot invalidate. I cannot tell you are wrong. No one could tell you are wrong. In fact, you are not wrong. If you say PlayStation 5 Pro is not worth it, you are not wrong. Because who's going to make you buy it? No one. That's it. Vice versa, I'm saying PlayStation 5 Pro is worth it, and I'm going to buy it. And I am not wrong. End of discussion. So with that, just move forward and stop with the ridiculousness. Because the PlayStation 5 Pro is here. It exists. And more developers are taking advantage. In fact, today it was announced Rod Ferguson, Diablo 4 will also be PlayStation 5 Pro enhanced. And don't think for a minute you won't see more Xbox studios do PlayStation 5 Pro enhancements. Indiana Jones is going to get that enhancement. You best believe it. All the games getting the enhancements. So, Call of Duty, all that stuff. It'll be crazy. Right? It's going to be crazy. It's going to be a great time for pro owners. Right? And if you paid attention to my channel, this ain't capping, because I dare you go and look through my videos and see if I bought a PlayStation 4 Pro. I didn't. I said time and time again, it wasn't worth it. I go after what I think is worth it. Hence why I didn't buy a PS4 Pro. Hence why I didn't buy a PS Vita. There's certain things I don't think is worth it. It's not carte blanche. PlayStation makes it, I'm getting it. No, I got to see some appeal. I didn't buy Concord. Not buying Fair Games. Not going to buy Marathon. It is what it is. That Pro, it's a true mid-gen refresh. More of a mid-gen refresh than anything we've seen before. It impressed me. And I think Sony did right by it. But it is priced out of the range for many people. It is what it is. With that, you let me know you're getting the PlayStation 5 Pro in the comment section. And subscribe right now if you haven't in the channel. I got a podcast, 60 frames, no lag. Would love to see you there live. Great chat, great moderators. It's a great time. Right? If you want a great, cool chat to actually talk in, I got a great chat. A few trolls here and there, you know, got one or two, but nothing too crazy. Great moderators that really keep it in check. Tuesdays, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. 60 frames, no lag. And then, of course, hit the like button. Really appreciate you all. You guys take care. Peace.
Grand opening